Welcome back. I'm Jackie Ma. Christchurch massage parlour owner William Galanders was this week jailed for 1 year and 9 months for employing an underage prostitute. He's the first to be charged and convicted under the new Prostitutes Law Reform Act. Tonight we talked to the 16-year-old girl who worked for Galanders. Lisa isn't her real name, and we've changed her appearance for this program. She's speaking out to warn other young people.
This is quite possibly the biggest mistake I'll ever make in my life. The biggest, and it's never going to go away.
Lisa turned her first trick at 16 for this man.
Off you pricks.
William Archibald Galanders sold Lisa's body for $120 an hour. Bill Galanders is now in jail. Lisa helped to put him there.
And I hope he gets exactly what he deserves.
The pimps and the men who rent underage prostitutes are criminals. But under the new law, Lisa is not. Still, she has to live with herself.
I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I was ashamed to be around people just because of what I thought I was.
What do you think you were?
Quite bluntly, I was a dirty little whore.
This was not the rich, thrilling life she'd anticipated.
There's no glamour. There is no glamour to it whatsoever. It's rough and it's raw and it's dirty.
Bill Galanders put 16-year-old Lisa to work here in his own home in one of Christchurch's more down-at-heel suburbs. After the police raid, a Sunday cameraman paid Galanders a visit with a hidden camera.
That's right. How you doing? All right.
We discovered Galanders was continuing to flout the law, running his brothel without a licence. We wanted to see if he was still employing underage girls. This young prostitute, he told us, was 18.
No, he's got to rush away.
I'll come back. No, to keep the money. Don't worry about it.
When police charged Galanders, he initially admitted knowing Lisa was underage. Then he pleaded not guilty for 1.5 years.
Did you know you'd breached the law?
During that time, Bill Galanders continued to illegally offer girls for sex out of his front bedroom. But it gets worse. Galanders not only liked underage sex workers, there are claims, as we'll see later, that Galanders liked to personally train them for sex work.
That I hope he burns in hell.
Really?
Really. Just for what he's done to me and for what he's done to a lot of other people.
In the underworld of sex for sale, Bill Galanders belongs in the gutter, according to others in the same line of work.
Bill Galanders is the sort of person that gives the sex industry a very bad name. He's a sleazy man. We want him gone.
Anna Reid of Christchurch's Prostitutes Collective. Proud she was once this country's oldest working girl and delighted the laws caught up with Bill Galanders.
And I wrote, yay! We've been waiting for this for a long time.
You've been waiting for it?
Yes.
Why is that?
Because we've just known about him for so long.
So you've kept a record of Bill Galanders in this book?
We have. And here's one here last year that somebody rang up that they were concerned that a 15-year-old girl, he got her drunk. The older workers don't like younger people being taken advantage of.
But Lisa admits she was a difficult teenager. At 14, she'd left home. By 16, she'd dropped out of school. She was vulnerable and mixed up. When she saw Galanders' ad, she wanted money, a roof over her head, and, yes, a bit of adventure.
Young lady wanted. Live-in preferred. Learn all aspects of the adult industry, including massage, modelling.
I just kind of looked at it and went, oh no, I couldn't do that. You know, I just kind of had a bit of a private giggle in my head, just wondering whether or not I could. And went back to it, and it just kind of kept coming back to me, so I thought I'd ring up.
Why do you think you dialed that number?
Desperation. And I couldn't afford to spend 2 months living in a bus shelter or a park.
And do you think it had got that bad for you?
At that point, yeah, I did. But if I look back now, I'm sure that there would have been something I could have done. But at the time, I was like, right, I need to do this, and I need to do it now.
Impatient, rash
I knows
even,
where I'm gonna be
but in
in 2
true
weeks' time.
teenager fashion, this one thought she could look after herself. And she swears she told the man at the other end of the phone she was only 16. He didn't immediately say, you're underage, thanks, but no thanks.
He just said, oh, well, there's other things that we can say that you're doing.
We can say you're doing.
Yeah.
In
which
other
is-
words,
we can cover it up.
Lisa moved into Galander's front room. She believes he always told clients she was 18.
The first day he met me, he said, I see you as a great asset, and I want you to be here.
Lisa averaged 3 or 4 clients a day, sometimes as many as 7 or 8. Bill did the
Look,
bookings.
I'm calling about the blonde bombshell.
Yes, she's available this evening up till 8 o'clock.
When Sunday rang and recorded Bill, he was still making appointments, long after he'd been charged. That's him on the phone.
$80 for a half an hour, which is sexual services, or $120 for an hour, which is nude massage, which she's very good at, and sexual services all inclusive.
What's she like?
She's 18, 5'10". She's slim, size 8 figure, bust 236D, and very, very.
It was this kind of patter that lured the punters. Lisa earned over $2,000 a week, and Bill took half. Who are your clients?
They ranged from businessmen, truck drivers, all sorts of different kinds of people.
What were you required to do?
Basically, within reason, whatever the client wanted, within reason.
So the sex part of it wasn't a big issue for you?
In my mind, I just said, right, well, I need to do this, so it's not going to bother me because I need to do it. And if it has to be done, it has to be done. I knew that I could block it if I didn't like it.
But Lisa had to contend with more than sex with her clients. Her boss didn't just run the brothel, he liked to join in.
Being really, really nervous, I got incredibly drunk on the first night.
And did you? She passed out. And then, she says, Bill Galanders took advantage of her.
I have vague memories of him coming in after me. And very, very vague memories of him touching me, but it wasn't until the next day when he started saying, oh, I really, really enjoyed your company last night, and I hope that we can do it again sometime. A couple of the girls asked me about it later on, and I was so ashamed. I said no. Oh, did you ever do anything with it? No.
Do you consider it was rape?
Yes and no. There is a very, very fine line, and I probably would have said no, but I didn't.
Lisa didn't know it at the time, but she wasn't alone. There were others in the industry monitoring Bill Galanders.
I think he does target people that are fairly naive, don't know their rights in the situation, you know, have to have sex with the boss kind of thing, and as a part of a job interview, things that did used to be fairly traditional once upon a time, but have certainly changed now.
Out of all the places I've worked in over the years, he'd be the worst place I'd worked in and worked with.
Nicole, not her real name, also worked for Galanders.
He likes to train us up in our massage, his type of massage.
So you've felt obliged
Yeah.
to have sex with Bill Galanders to keep your job?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Nicole wasn't surprised to hear Galanders had a 16-year-old working for him, because Lisa, she says, wasn't the first.
One time when I turned up and there was a 16-year-old, and we asked her to leave, but we weren't prepared to work there with having a 16-year-old there.
She was clearly underage.
Yes, definitely.
So Lisa wasn't the first.
No, definitely not.
How would you describe Bill?
A dirty old man that should not be in the industry at all. a pervert, basically. Yeah.
We now know Bill Galanders was a sexual predator who didn't just limit his appetite to young sex workers. Bill Galanders had a past. Sunday has spoken at length to 3 women who all claim he sexually assaulted them as young girls, one when she was only 11 years old. None of them went to the police about this, but now things have changed and they don't discount that possibility. Can I have a couple of words with you? But this man's behaviour on the game caught up with him the November before last. Detective Todd Hamilton led the raid on Galanders' house. He'd had a tip-off.
Well, I'm not going to reveal where that information came from.
This is a confidential source.
It is, absolutely.
But Sunday understands an ex-employee of Galanders turned him in. Then Lisa decided to give evidence against him.
That takes a lot of courage to get up in front of a court, to talk at the best of times, and let alone to talk about, you know, quite obviously personal issues that she was having to talk about.
Why did you decide to testify against Bill Galanders? Because he needs to go away. He needs to... I mean, if he can trick me into it, then he can trick anyone.
Just days before his trial was due to begin, Galanders changed his plea to guilty. Last Tuesday, the 61-year-old was sentenced to 21 months in jail. Galanders will be out again in less than a year, but he'll never legally run a brothel again.
As the judge pointed out in sentencing, yeah, it does send a signal to other people in the industry that they've got to be very careful.
Bill Galanders is going to go to prison, and it won't be easy for him, but it does show that this act is working. We're very pleased about this.
Do you regret it? Very much so. Very much so. I wish I'd never even seen the ad.
You were. Lisa thought she was bulletproof. She learned she was not.
It got really, really bad. It got to the point where I thought I was never, ever gonna get out of it. And that I was just gonna be stuck like this forever with this branding on my forehead, and that no one was ever gonna love me because of what I'd done.
Lisa has found love and a new life in the South Island. Sunday wanted to put these allegations to Bill Galanders, but he wouldn't speak to us. On Tuesday, another Christchurch man is in court, charged with offering an underage girl for sexual services, this time a 14-year-old. After the break, John Hudson brings you New Zealand's most public custody battle. Are men getting a fair deal?